Ta-da!
Hello, my name is Charles Longino. I'm the co-owner and designer at Aspie and Gifts. Today we are going to be talking about some text art. We actually started working on it on our live stream yesterday, and we are using Zentangle to design it. We've encountered a couple of problems as far as printing, and we're going to talk about some solutions to these problems as we design this text art. So let's get started.
Ta-da!
All right. One thing I'd like to mention before we get going is that we are currently doing a giveaway of any of the designs in our shop. If you would like one, please just make a comment down in the comments below. And I think we're going to be doing the drawing either, I think on Thursday. For this past week, and we are but if you leave a comment down in the comment section, we'll be able to contact you if you win. So please leave a comment, and come check out our shop at aspietees.com, and that way you can see what designs we have available. So let's go ahead and get started on this. I have up the design that I was working on yesterday. I did a little bit more after the live stream, and before we get too deep into this, let me just take a second here and check our chats and make sure that I can see everything. Okay, and I just want to be able to see all the different, I've got 4 different chats I'm trying to follow right now. One on Twitch, one on Periscope, and one on Facebook Live, and one on something else, YouTube. So it's hard to keep track of all the different chats. I'll stop every once in a while, take a look at it, see if there's any questions that I could answer. But what we're doing is we are going to create a Zentangle of the word blessed. And I have it right down here. What I did is I put blessed on a separate layer, and I just simply lowered the opacity. So as I'm drawing it out, I can kind of see where the boundaries are to make the different letters. Now the problem that we have, and the person that was watching this kind of hinted at it yesterday in some of the comments, but I didn't pick up on it until I was working on it last night. Typically when we design a t-shirt to print, we're going to print it in a box of about 10 inches wide and 12 inches tall. Those are usually our boundary box, so to speak. The reason we do that is that dimension will be able to print on everything from small all the way up to 3XL and look good. If we go larger than the 10 inches, then it gets too big to print on the smaller t-shirts, small and medium. And so if we go to 11 or 12 inches, you know, either we can't offer it in the smaller sizes, or we would have to do 2 different screens in different sizes to accommodate that. So the screen that I have on this iPad Pro is 10 inches across. And if I widen this out to where it touches on the edges at 10 inches, you can see how much detail that you're going to have. Unfortunately, it's right behind this. Let me get that out of the way. But you can see how much of the detail is going to be shown on that t-shirt. And we have a lot of minutia right in here. and it's going to be hard to see. It's going to be even harder to create the screen. We can do it. We can print halftones, but when we're doing this kind of detail and that size, it's going to be a real challenge to wash out the screens. And so, and we want to have the best prints that we can, and we also want to make life easy on ourselves. So, it can be done, and so it's not the end of the world if I keep it like this. But I'm a little concerned with the dot gain where we might lose a little bit of the detail in here, especially up in here where there's not a lot of room between, the different rows, or the different lines rather. So that being said, there's a couple of solutions. We can take the LESSED and make it a little bit smaller, kind of like the B would be capitalized, and then just going forward on the designs, put a little more space in between the lines and make the designs bigger, and then that way, if we make those letters smaller, I think that, it would, that's one way of dealing with it, so that we can make the B larger than we would the other ones, and so we would be able to see more of the detail in the B because it would be bigger. So that's one of the things that I'm thinking about doing. And so anyways, I mean, that would be the main solution. The other one would be chopping up the word. You see a lot of t-shirts now that will have a hyphen. I just saw one earlier today on Facebook that was animal, and it was hyphenated, so it was some really big block letters. So anyhow, this is what we are going to be working on today, and I am going to go ahead and get to it. Just so you know, the music in the background is by a gentleman named Josh Woodward. You can hear his music at joshwoodward.com. Okay. All right, so let's get started. Let me turn this up a little bit. Got my pumpkin latte. Cheers. Okay. All right, let's see. What are we going to do here? And a lot of times what I'll do is just grab another layer. Let me go ahead and combine all of this. The reason being is if I make a mistake or I don't like the direction things are going, this makes it easy for me to correct things. Here's that. So we'll just put some thick lines in here, kind of give us a transition. We have this area down here that was a little bit difficult to build out of, so we'll just kind of smooth it out a little bit and just start some other designs on top of it. you're trying to do is just come up with different patterns um, to fill up the space that you're using. And so there's no right or wrong of it. You're just, as you can see here, I would just start a pattern and transition into another one and add another pattern, so on and so forth. Here things got a little small, and up here as well. But usually at the end you have kind of a cool design. I went a little nautical with this. I think this kind of looked like shells and some pearls and waves. We have some scales from fish, another shell, some more waves. This was going to be a sun, but I made it look like a flower because I have different flowers in here. Anyways, I think it's a neat technique, and I think this is coming along nicely. I hope people like it, and it's a good seller. You never know. Sometimes you think some of your designs that you're really proud of and you really like might not sell, and then some of the ones that you think, I don't really like it, or I could have done better, end up selling great. So I am going to do one more. And the other thing is, Zentangles, a lot of times when you see it, people are doing this with pen and ink. And one of the reasons I like doing it on the iPad is it's much more forgiving. If you don't like what you're doing, or you want to just kind of step back, you hit back, or you can just erase it right there on the screen. Whereas if you have pen and ink, you're kind of committed to it. And that's much more challenging. So I'm taking kind of the easier route here because I want to do it over a whole bunch of different times in order to get something that I can, put on a t-shirt and sell. I'm not one of those hardcore people anyways that insist on doing things the hard way. If I can find an easier way to do something, I'm going to do it. Okay. Let's take an eraser here and cut into this. Hey, how are you?
Hey,
What you looking for?
I forgot to take this.
Okay. All right. It's coming along nicely. Let's see here. And throughout this, I've been using a lot of circle shapes. You know, I want things here to be kind of flowing. And so, even when I'm drawing like a curve, I'll try to thicken it up on one end and kind of taper it off on the other. Love pumpkin spice lattes. Yum, 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 yum. All right. Wonder. Excuse me. Hey, Kelly, that's a terrific question. The question was, how am I getting to live stream this on different platforms? Um, and also how I got the logo up there. I use a software program, it's free, it's called OBS, and it stands for Open Broadcast Software. And it's, it doesn't cost anything, it's free, it's open source. Um, so when you go and you get that software, what you can do is you can create a PNG of your logo, and then you can put that on the screen. And so
Okay.
I'm doing that right now. um, So anyways, so I use open broadcast software, and that way you can put all kinds of things. You can put some graphics, and I'm very proud of this one. I created this in After Effects. I was just learning how to use it, so I'm going to play that for you. I really like it. Ta-da! So if I have any kind of transition, I can use that. And obviously, I did the sound effects, so I didn't have to pay any kind of royalties for sound effects, and I was able to get what I wanted. But that was done in After Effects, and then I can just pull it up at any time that I want with the software that I have. Now, as far as doing the multi-stream, the way that you do it is you have there's several different websites out there that'll let you do it. One's called Restream.io, and that was ended up being a little too expensive. You can do, I forget, but I think you can do 2 streams and not pay anything. And beyond that, it jumps like right up to either like $80 or $100 a month. And that's a little, we're a small business, and that's a little rich for my blood. That, it's $100 a month, that's $1,200 a year. I can think of an awful lot of other ways to spend that. But I found this fantastic website. Is Caster, C-A-S-T-R, there's no E, .io, which means it's an company out of India, which I find some of the best new websites out there are coming from India. But it's caster.io, and you're allowed to stream, long as you do one stream to a different platform, it doesn't cost anything. So I don't pay anything. It's completely free, and I'm able to broadcast to YouTube, to Twitch, Facebook, and Periscope, which is Twitter, all at the same time. So I guess really, when you step back and think of it, I'm kind of multicasting. So anyways, it's a neat program, neat website. It doesn't cost anything, and it works very, very, very well. And they have a lot of other sites that you can stream to, but I personally don't know any of them. One's called Mixer. I think it's for like gaming, but they have a whole list of them. These are just the 4 that I was familiar with. Yeah, it's really kind of neat. Yeah, I was a little reticent on doing it. The idea of putting yourself on camera made me a little uneasy. But it's once you get into it and all the cool effects you can do, there's some great videos on how to set everything up on YouTube. If you sat down at the beginning of the day, probably by the end of the day, you can know how to use it, have everything set up and ready to go. All of it's pretty straightforward. If you use a Mac operating system, which I do, there's 2 different ways that you can do a screen capture. One is where it's a location on the screen. One, it will actually capture the screen within that window of that program. And there's a conflict with that one, so you have to capture the screen. So if I move this right here where I'm pulling in the iPad. Oh, and by the way, if you have an iPad, the software I use is Reflect. It costs like $15, and it's just terrific. But anyways, you can see when I move that it's just looking at a certain section of the screen. If you use a Mac after the last update to Mojave, that's how you have to do the screen capture. Otherwise, you'll get a flickering, and it will drive you absolutely batty. And I have a camera set up. I have my Canon Rebel set up to do the video. You get a little bit higher quality. If you have a Canon EOS or a Canon Rebel, they have some software that comes with Canon where you can live stream it, and then you pull that directly into OBS as well. Oh, and then finally, that little ticker down at the bottom, what I did is in OBS, you're allowed to, you stack it kind of like layers, like in Photoshop. So what I did is I put a bottom layer, and then I put scrolling text on top of it, and then another PNG on top of it where I have it fading into a transparency in the middle. So, you know, if you have Photoshop, you can create that. You don't have to have any kind of special software like After Effects or anything like that. You just need two PNGs, and then, you know, in OBS, you just type in the text message that you want and the speed you want it to scroll. And so that's how that's done. Can you use the iPhone with OBS? I don't think so, but you can use, oh, what is that software called? Let me, I can't think of it offhand, but there is another software package that you can do, that you can, just do this real quick. Let me just move this. Take a quick look here. This is going to drive me nuts. Problem is, my kids put all these games and stuff on my iPad. They use it when I'm at home, and it just clutters everything up, so it's near impossible to find anything. But it's oh. Let me just look here. You know, when you have three screens and you sit down to find your, there it is, the cursor, sometimes it gets lost. All right. It's called Streamlabs. Just put this back up. But you can do it on your phone with Streamlabs. Get rid of that little box. Okay, so you can do it on your iPhone with something called Streamlabs, and they use Streamlabs is a company that will let you do all those fancy things like the gamers do, where they'll have, you know, confetti fall on the screen, or they'll have a green screen behind them so they just appear like they're floating in front of their game. Streamlabs allows you to do that with all these little plugins, but since OBS is open software, they took that as the base and they built on top of it, and they do have an app that you can download and you can stream directly from your iPhone, but I'm not positive, but I think it's only for Twitch. So I don't think you'd be able to do a multi-broadcast with that software. But if you want to do it from your phone, that's one way of doing it, and it's the only way that I know of. The other way, well, that's not true. The other way you can do it is you can do it the way that I'm doing my iPad, where I'm reflecting it or mirroring the image from my iPad onto my Mac, and then I'm pulling it into the OBS software. So that would be the other way to do it. But I think what you're thinking of is being able to stream in different locations from your phone, or maybe it's just simply to use your phone, the camera in your phone. I don't know. No problem at all. Thanks for taking some time to chat with me. I really appreciate it. This is kind of a new stream, so it's exciting for me when anybody gets on and asks me a question. Okay. Hi, I'm Charles Longino. I am today working on a Zentangle, some text art for a t-shirt that I am designing. Please join us and take a second, if you can, to comment in the section down below. We are doing a giveaway. Anybody who makes a comment, we will put you in the drawing, and I think we're drawing it Thursday for this past week, and we do it every week. And the winner can come to our shop, select any design that they want, and we'll send them out a free t-shirt or a free tote bag, whichever they prefer. If you're just joining us, Zentangle is a type of artwork. It's it's supposed to be kind of meditative, but what it is it's just a series of designs that you put underneath it. I put a separate layer so I can see the letters that I'm trying to build off of, and this will be how it looks when it's done. But this just gives me some kind of guides for when I'm doing it. And I just lowered the opacity so that you're able to see it. A lot of people will ask me what software I'm using on the iPad, and I have used it for years for sketching and drawing, and it is an app called Sketch Club. And you don't see it very often. It's not really marketed or advertised that much. But I have all of the sketching and art type apps out there, I think. And to me, this is my favorite. The main reason is that I don't have to move the iPad. I can simply pinch and pull and move my canvas around, zoom in. I can get all the way down to the pixel level if I want to, and make very small detailed changes to anything that I'm working on. So that's one of the things that I really love about it. And the app actually has a lot of power to it. It has as many layers as you want. It has um, all kinds of layer effects, or blend modes that you can use. You can see right here. Um, it has special effects or filters if you want to add it. Um, you can pull in pictures and all kinds of things. So it's a really easy program to use. It's very intuitive, and in my opinion, it's absolutely the best sketching software out there. And with the Apple Pencil with it, it rivals any Wacom tablet, in my opinion. So um, if you do sketch or you do artwork, I can't recommend it enough. It was extremely cheap. I bought it years ago though. I think it was like $1.99. I mean, it would cost nothing to buy it, and it's better than a lot of the $20, $25, $35 programs out there. Thanks, Kelly. I'm glad you like it. I think it's a neat technique, and it really, I don't know. I just think you always end up getting kind of neat results when you do the Zentangle. Oops. Well, I got it kind of bunched up, so let's back that up. Okay, let's see how that looks. I like it. I might even bring it over. Let's see. All right, let's turn off this background. Neat. I like that. Yeah, the thing about Zentangles is that it's got to be very zen, because if you're trying to rush it, it gets very tedious. I thought I'd be a lot further along than I am. Yesterday, I got done. I thought I would be on to like the third letter. I haven't even finished the B. It's. I think I'm probably going to have to end up doing some other designs and coming back and finishing this one. This is going to take a while. Hmm. Hmm. Hey, Jackie, how are you?
Hi, is it okay if I get some water?
Of course.
Hi, everybody.
How's it out there with all the people working hard and not just sitting here doodling?
Are you saying that you're doodling?
Well, that's basically what Zentangle is.
That's hard work for sure. We are working on lots of exciting things.
Great.
To be continued.
Chase getting those screens cleaned?
Yes, he is.
Whoops. Yeah, the delay, it's Facebook, and I don't know why that is, but the Facebook delay is about 20 seconds. There's no delay with Twitch or YouTube, and then there's a 10-second delay with Periscope. So when you're starting off, it's always a little bit of a challenge because you're never going to get it to where you can just seamlessly just start the live stream if you're doing several different streams. And I don't know if that's because of the app or is just the way that Facebook is. The other thing I would tell you about if you end up doing some streaming is you've got to be careful about um, even the music in the background. When I did my first one, my stream got cut off by Facebook because I had just like regular music on in the background, and it was a copyright violation to play it even in the background. I didn't think about it. And so, anyways, I did a couple of live streams with no music at all, and it's hard to do it that way. So I found this one person, Josh Woodward, at joshwoodward.com, that has that he has a bunch of different songs, and you can donate to him, but he doesn't have he doesn't his copyright is something commons. I'm trying to think of the name of it and I can't. But anyways, it's where you can play it and you don't violate any copyrights. And so you can actually, if you have Alexa or Amazon, you can ask them and they will play his music for you in the background, and you won't violate any copyrights. So it's nice to have some music in the background, and I would suggest using him. He's got some nice stuff, and you can have something to listen to while you do this. All right, let's see. I'm going to come back here and thicken these up a little bit. Maybe I'll just kind of do something like that. Yeah, the biggest problem with doing it on a bunch of different channels, at least that I have found, is I can't seem to find a way to aggregate all the different chats. And so, that way, a lot of times I'll be responding to one person, but people on the other channels won't understand what I'm talking about. So I should make it a habit to read out the questions. But and also with the delays and everything, and also it's hard to stop and switch and look at four different chats and to see who's on. So those are probably the biggest challenges with doing multi streams. Okay, so let's see how things look. It's gonna look nice. And then what I'll done is when I'm done, what I'll do is pull it into Illustrator and vectorize everything, so I won't lose anything when I expand it or shrink it down. So before we burn the screens, we'll vectorize it to ensure that we're going to get crisp, clean edges. Kelly, what do you live stream? Do you do your artwork, live stream your artwork? Oh, very cool. I need to check it out. Do you ever upcycle t-shirts? I was thinking about doing a series on things you can do with old t-shirts. That would be great. I would enjoy that. Hmm. Let's see. We can do something like that. Guess then it just ends up kind of like. That's better. Got a little pixelated in here. Because when I drew it on a separate layer and then I resized it to fit in where I wanted it to, and it kind of pixelated it. But I'll clean that up when I vectorize it. Hello. If you're just joining us, I'm Charles Longino. I'm the designer at Aspie Tees and Gifts, and we are live streaming a Zentangle design that we will be working on. And this is a letter, and we will be doing. It feels like we're going to be doing this for a long time. If you comment down in the comment section on Thursday, we're going to be giving away a t-shirt or a tote bag from our store, our online store, aspietees.com. Any design that you want, so please make sure that you leave a comment down below. We're live streaming on 4 different channels, and we are doing our best to follow the chat on all of them. I might not get back to you right away, but I am checking it, and I will answer any questions that you have. So let's get back to it. Just looks good. Alright, so what I'm going to do here, to keep the proportions right, I'm just simply going to copy this down to another layer and then move it over just a tad. Place it. And as you can see, it's becoming more and more pixelated as I do that. So that last one's a little too blurry. Get rid of that. Go back to the first one. Let's see what we are. Says that we're still streaming. Oop. Yeah, we're on YouTube. I'm looking at the channel. I'm trying to find the name of the channel. I don't know how to tell you how to find us. I have a link here, but it's, you know, all kinds of crazy numbers. What I can do is post it in the description when we're done with the live stream. I'm sorry, I don't know how to tell you to look it up there. Try under ASPIETEES, ASPIETEES. It's actually listed under ASPIE, Tees, and GIFs. ASPIE, separate word, TEES, space, ampersand, space, GIFs. Huh. It's not turned out quite the way I wanted it. I think I have Zentangled myself into a corner. What to do here? I have to think about what to put in there. I don't really like what I'm doing there. So let's see. It is 11:30. This is probably a good stopping point along in here. Thank you everybody for watching. Remember, please leave a comment down in the comment section so that we can enter you into the drawing. We're going to be doing the drawing, I think, on Thursday. It's for the past week. Of course, that goes out now. And you can pick any t-shirt or any bag from our store, askbtees.com. Thank you very much for joining us. I appreciate it. And let's just do this one more time because I love it.
Ta-da!
Thank you. Have a great rest of your day, and we will see you tomorrow, 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.